6:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. And it's extremely cold outside. Believe me, you want to bundle up. You want to throw on that hoodie and that jacket. And up under that, put on the thermals, because the wind is the hawk today. It's out. Give it up. Dabrand knows. Let's go, let's get it done. So they said no, but I know she's with it though. Gonna hit it off. Stand for the minute though. See if I can't slow down for the hoe. She know did it though. Yeah, she boy Dabrand knows. It was a great Super Bowl Sunday. Yes, sir. 40 Wolves. Yeah, we back with another one for you, with y'all, for y'all cats. Y'all know that I'ma get you up and out the door and on your way. Just boy, Dabrand knows is gonna go ahead and start the show. So now that you know that your boy Dabrand knows, let's get it.
New Evan, ayo, from now on I'm putting my foot down. They said I was done, but they ain't saying shit now. I be at them tables, breaking the splits down, getting my residuals. Brown, I keep it original, you know how my shit sound.
I don't really listen to that, but I can't lie. I really do not know any of them. I haven't listened to any songs.
I don't know any to keep it G.
I just tuned into Bad Buddy this morning because is it DTMF?
DTM too.
Like second favorite.
I don't think I can name it.
I like Titini Pregunto, Seda, and Moscow Mule.
What is it, Monaco?
The one with Cardi B. I can't remember the name. I don't really listen to Bad Buddy. It's the one that goes, ooh, boy, boy, boy. That's all I know though. That's because Drewski be singing it. I know the words or like the name of it.
Yeah, just say this, La Camiseta.
La Camiseta. Yeah, there we go.
La Camiseta?
La Camiseta.
Okay, that means t-shirt in Spanish.
Something that Charlie and I used to sort of joke about off air, kind of behind the scenes, is, hey man, what if we did one of our own? What if we did one of our own, put on a show and said, you know what, let's make it pro-America, let's make it music that America actually likes. By the way, it's been 30 years since a country music artist has headlined a Super Bowl, which is, I'm sorry, that's tens of millions of people in the country. That's a market that's completely underserved and is ignored. And by the way, you know what? Those are the people who watch football in this country. So why isn't the NFL actually putting on a halftime show that has music for the people who actually watch football, who go to the games, who buy the overpriced tickets, who buy the food, the merch, all the rest of it? Why not actually do something for the real American patriots? So if they're not going to, we're more than happy to step up and stand in that gap.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it.
Want to really
see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Our president, man, we actually got a president. Whether you love or hate the man. Damn it. How has Super been for you? Go Hawks. Shout out to them Hawks. Patriots and took a doodle on themselves. Give them a diaper. Hey. But boy, oh boy, man. Trending worldwide right now is Super Bowl halftime show. And we have our president coming out saying it's a slap in the face to our country. Boy, people have turned it off. And man, what a hit the NFL took from Turning Point USA with an American halftime show with millions tuning in. We're going to jump into that, but let's read what President Trump just said an hour ago. He says the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. Is in front to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There's nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show. And watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what's going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. He's still talking about that kickoff, and I agree. I mean, man, it's just a disgrace, man, the way things have changed. They have sissified and pussified the NFL, you know. Oh, it's about the safety and the well-being of the players. And I mean, you can't even tackle no more hell in the god doggone league, you know. I miss the way that how it used to be too, man. President Trump got a point, you know. Again, I'm a guy who grew up playing football my entire life. I retired when I got to college. I had dreams of going to the NFL, but hey, here I am. You know, we all have to go through our journey, man, you know. And football played a big part of my life and taught me a lot of things to be the young man that I am today, you know. Shout out to all my coaches and mentors and my parents, people that played a part of my life. You know, football was everything, man, you know. But I agree with Trump, man. That kickoff and a lot of things they've implemented into the game of just the NFL and football, it's gone to shit, you know, honestly. But that kickoff, he's still talking about that kickoff, man. President Trump not gonna let that kickoff go, you know. But boy, incredible moment where Kid Rock praises Jesus in front of millions of viewers during the Turning Point USA halftime show. Says NFL, take notes. This is America right here.
There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus.
Beautiful moment, man. Beautiful moment.
And he'll give you a second chance till you can't.
Beautiful moment. Beautiful moment.
If you got a chance, take it. If you got a dream, care. Until you can. If you got a dream, chase it. You can. Until you can.
Remembrance of Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charlie. Rest in peace to Charlie. You can give your life to Jesus, and He'll give you a second chance till you can. Amen, man. That puts chills down my back, man. You know, chills down my back. But what a show! What a show! Matt Walsh is having the halftime show for your biggest game of the year in a language almost none of your lifelong fans can understand, while waving the flags of countries that none of them are from, is the biggest FU that I've ever seen a corporation give to its own consumers. And y'all, it's so many people making jokes. We've seen on our Facebook pages and Instagrams, and I seen some of my family members posting this stuff. You know, and they were like, "Ice, send ice to the NFL, send ice to the Super Bowl." You know, then I had one of my family members say, "What the hell is this halftime show that I'm watching? I'm turning it off." And y'all, he's a super Democrat. You know, he's a super Democrat. He say, "I'm turning it off." You know, we had the NFL players say, "I don't know who the hell Bad Bunny is." I think the NFL should have chose somebody different. Even from NFL players playing in the Super Bowl, they asked Seahawks and Patriot players. Y'all seen the video? I played it at the beginning of the show. You know, but boy, I want to go into this record breaking. It was just a lot going on I wanted to get into and uncover. But man, it was like it had just started, and they had like 5 million people tuning in to this other halftime show. And man, what a hit the NFL took. You know, and wow. Let's see if Benny posted any other updates on this. But wow, y'all know TMZ couldn't wait. TMZ just posted a poll saying who had the better halftime show, Bad Bunny or Kid Rock. Wow, look at that. Lord have mercy. Excuse me, but y'all, man. Wow. But Turning Point USA just mugged the NFL total and complete culture war victory. English mother, do you speak it?
Foreign, like bourbon, glow from Chile all the way up to Canada. That's what he means. He doesn't mean our country where he's performing. Kid Rock, and an unbelievable demonstration of true. I hope that you were watching his 30-minute performance. It's amazing. Absolutely. Foreign flags, foreign language, not here to assimilate. It's an invasion. Having your halftime show of your prom is the... Just can't understand what's being said. Bad Bunny's football. Together, we are America.
And then the thing, I think his message was the only thing more powerful than hate is love.
Yeah.
Who the hell from his PR team told him that?
Yeah. This is trash. And this is, by the way, why Kid Rock is trending higher and surging in the trending page, and nobody is talking about Bad Bunny at all. I don't know why they were. I didn't know they were playing the Super Bowl in Mexico. Couldn't understand the effing word of it. The All-American halftime show was amazing. Great work.
I didn't know they were playing this. I didn't know the Super Bowl was in Mexico.
Most importantly, it was in effing English, our national language. NFL conducting a humiliation ritual for their millions of fans to sit through. This makes me sick. I'm right now, as Lee Bryce took the stage, incredible. 5.6 million viewers, 400,000 likes, insane numbers. Unbelievable halftime show at Turning Point. Back to the most boring Super Bowl. Seems inevitable. Performers.
I ain't gonna lie, that Super Bowl was boring though, y'all. And the Patriots took a shit on themselves. I seen people doodling on the sideline. I ain't know what to believe. Patriots ought to be ashamed of themselves. I expected better out of them Patriots. Then they want to finally pick it up at the end. But y'all know it's always too late. You know, and that defense of them Seahawks, boy, I tell you, that defense almost made me boo-boo on myself. Hell, that defense some Seahawks got, What y'all think about the game? Y'all weigh in with your thoughts.
For America's game. And this was the absolutely horrible and one of the worst actually. Setting a new show. Very, very proud to.
Man, you just can't make it up, man. You know? America first versus America last. Perfectly displayed tonight. Boy, but I love that moment of Kid Rock. You know. And there's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There is a man who died for all of our sins hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus and he'll give you a second chance.
Till you can't. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus and he'll give you a second chance till you can't.
That's a beautiful
one. There's a book.
I got to repost that, man. I'm finna be off and on here cry. They got chills going down my back now. Rick finna go on tear up in here, man. Lord have mercy. Man, they finna have Rick crying on here again. Damn. Man. God is good all the time, man. God bless them patriots around the world, man. You know? God bless them patriots around the world. I love y'all, family. You know? This was trending earlier. The odds of Bad Bunny wearing a skirt, a dress, or a skirt at tonight's halftime show. People were actually betting on this in the poly market. Lord have mercy. And they got this right here. I seen this earlier. Is that AI? Did they AI that? Look, I don't know if that's AI or whatever. But we do not no sir. Again, we see a lot of these protesters, anti-Americans burning flags and waving their own flag. Just leave. You know. I seen a post about this and it was like saying conservatives aren't homophobic or this and that, you know. This is what we talk about, you know. But we just draw the line at, man. But I think this is AI. Somebody said it wasn't. I don't know. It might be. We know the AI can do a great job, but that's disgusting. You know, AI or not, get it off my screen, actually. And Logan Paul, when asked, is he excited for the Super Bowl halftime show? No.
Logan, are you excited for the halftime show? No.
And Jake Paul, his brother, said purposely turning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performer who publicly hates America. I can't support that. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But y'all weigh in with your thoughts, man. I love y'all. God bless y'all and your family, man. And what a time to be.
This disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Thune, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue pretending to be the President of the United States.
This guy here be totally unhinged. Most of the times I see him posted, always talking smack about Donald Trump. He probably voted for him on the low, bet you.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past him. I tell you somebody I think voted for Trump on the low, Stephen A. Smith. But I want y'all to notice the energy here. And this video has nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith. But this is how the machine works. Outrage first, context later, if they decide to give it, right? Then more compasses are going south. Narratives get built before facts can even breathe is the point. Because, the goal isn't understanding. It's emotional reaction every time. And once people react emotionally, logic, they ain't gone. Bye-bye. Out the window. And when you got these Democrats talking like this and throwing language around publicly like that, it's not about dialogue anymore. I see them just trying to keep division alive. But let's keep moving.
I'm voting for Trump. So what somebody's going to do about it?
I mean, I'm going to disagree with you.
So what?
Does it make you feel weird that people...
so what?
Is that weird to you that people freak out about your opinions?
No, they believe I have a lot of followers, this and that, but this is my opinion. If I like Donald Trump and I want to vote for him, I'm going to do it. So what?
I know that's right. I don't see nobody trying to challenge Tyson on that. But this is what things get really interesting. We covered a video yesterday of Tyson coming out in support of Donald Trump, and I told you he's maintained that consistently. And when someone like Tyson says what he wants politically, the reaction isn't curiosity, it's punishment. Because independent thought is celebrated until it doesn't align with the approved scripts. The Democrats, that is. Now, the moment the public figure steps outside the expectation box, suddenly it becomes controversy. But y'all listen to that tone? He wasn't finna back down. That was definitely a personal choice. And the personal choice is what this entire conversation is about. This entire conversation is about. Next clip.
There was a strange moment at that same news conference that we wanted to show you. That press conference was on the site of the old post office building, which Trump is converting to a hotel. A woman in the audience asked Trump if he'd hire veterans at that hotel. Here's how he responded.
What kind of a position? Come up here, come here. She looks so smart and good. Do you mind if I do a job interview right now? We need good people. How are you? So what's your experience in front of the world?
Well, I design, I do wreaths, I do all types of decorations.
And you like this building?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So here's what I'm going to do. There's the man. Stand right over here.
Oh my God.
If we can make a good deal in the salary, she's going to probably have a job, okay? All right, good. Have a good time. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Good. Thank you. So nice. Really nice. I felt good about her. I tell you what, I looked at her. I said, I have gut instinct, okay? And we're allowed to have that. And I looked at her and she asked a question and it was a very positive question. She looks like she's got a great look and look at that with the tears. How nice. She just seemed like a good person to me.
Trump is so racist. He doesn't like black people. Yada, yada, yada. This is a throwback. A throwback clip. This clip introduces something the media really wants explored, though. Real interactions. You got real moments with Trump and black people and real complexity. Because nuance, it doesn't sell headlines. It doesn't. People get labeled in extremes, villain or hero language, racist or savior. No middle ground allowed, basically. But life doesn't operate that way. Reality, it has layers. And once you start examining those layers, the simplified narrative starts cracking. Now, let's get to someone calling out the emotional mechanics directly.
I've had time to really think about this video that President Trump supposedly put out. And looking at the video, I can see how people can get into their emotions about it, get into their feelings about it. But I think what's happening here is that the people on the left, they're taking this as the opportunity to try to get people like me and everybody else that's riding the fence to reject President Trump. You know how many years they've been working on trying to get people to dislike Trump, to not go along with anything that he's doing? The man is not perfect. You keep looking at somebody like you need somebody perfect. Obama most definitely wasn't perfect. But you keep looking for someone to be perfect, and as soon as they make a mistake, you make it more of a bigger deal than it actually is. You need to stop getting into your emotions. You need to stop allowing them to control you. This is the very reason right now why the country is so divided, because you're listening to a group of people that knows how to touch your emotions. They were hoping that they were going to be able to get you to go out and react when Renee Good left the earth. Then they thought they were going to get you to react when Alex Purdy left the earth. Neither one of those worked to get people, black people specifically, to react. Then they saw this, which the video, once again, has been out there for years now. And all of a sudden, you act like it's a problem because one of President Trump's staff members, or even him for that matter, it doesn't even matter, put the video out there and then cut out the ending of it, as if he was calling Barack Hussein Obama something else other than a human being. And of course, you know, the Obamas being the race baiters that they are, they're going to take this when they do come out and publicly speak. They're going to run with this to create more division in this country. And simple-minded people are just going to absorb it and they're going to run with it. Why do you constantly allow these people to control your emotions? Get over it. This is the year 2026. Can we not take a joke? Can we not have a sense of humor? Why does everything have to be such a serious issue? Oh my goodness, look what he posted. Oh my goodness. Really? None of you had the same reaction when Joe Biden said that if you have to decide whether to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. None of y'all had this reaction. None of you had this reaction when Joe Biden back in the day was calling us the hard R. None of you had this reaction. But because you've been programmed to dislike President Trump, because you've been programmed to hate the man, this is the only reason why you're reacting the way you're reacting. Wake up. Wake up. No one's perfect. My name is Will Johnson. Like, follow, and subscribe. Oh. I'm still MAGA.
I know that's right. Now, that right there hits the core issue. Emotional leverage. Outrage timing, narrative timing, cycle timing. Every political machine understands psychology because psychology drives voting behavior. But here's the shift happening right now. People are stepping outside reaction mode and stepping into evaluation mode. Policy, results, impact. That transition, that mindset change, that's power. And power isn't, and power that isn't control rather makes institutions nervous. So let's keep pressing because cultural memory starts entering the chat next.
Uncle Trump, that screenshot was a little risky, but I don't care. I really don't care about it because you deserve to give these people the smoke that they have been giving you for the last 10 years. Every mainstream media and even independent media, we have seen these people talk about Trump every single day for the last 10 years. The liberals and Democrats and leftists, black and white, we have seen them call you the Cheeto man, the orange man, call you a fat pig, talk about your hair. They have went as far as saying that you are a PDF or the type of man that like children. They have went that far. But they draw the line at a screenshot from a video that the man didn't even create. You have more smoke for a screenshot than for the man that actually made the video. That screenshot didn't affect you from waking up going to work. It didn't affect your children. It didn't affect your paycheck. It didn't affect you as being a privileged American that's able to sit in their comfortable home on a $1,000 cell phone to complain about a president. We be worried about the wrong things. But that is what Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to take all of that attention off who has really been in these files. Now they don't want anything else to do with the files now since all of their favorite politicians and celebrities is showing up. You see that? You see when all of this fraud stopped being uncovered with their names on it? Oh, now they don't want to talk about that stuff no more. This country legit had a song called F Donald Trump that played all across the country. People blasting it in their cars while he was the sitting president. But that was fine. That was cool. I really want to know, when did black Americans get so soft? We can talk about anybody, joke about anybody. We will bully you off of the internet. But as soon as someone return that energy back to us, we act like these small victim children that cry about everything. Make it make sense. Can we start worrying about real issues again and not these super petty ones that's manufactured? Let's get back to it. Let me know what y'all guys think in the comments. I will see you on the next one.
Now we enter cultural memory territory. All right. Double standards in public discourse have existed for decades. What's allowed in one direction is condemned in the other. Y'all know it's a problem when I do it, but it's cool if they do it. Type energy, and people notice. Not because someone told them, but because experience teaches pattern recognition. And once people start recognizing patterns, they stop accepting emotional manipulation. At least you would think. That's where the independence grows, though. Now, let's add some historical weight to that independence.
Longer a Democrat. I had to write it down to remember all of the reasons why. So first of all, when I was in high school, I didn't know that it was the Democrats who founded the Klan. I did not know that. I did not know that it was the Democrats who voted against the 13th Amendment, the amendment that freed the slaves. The Democrats were like, yeah, no, they didn't vote for that. I did not know that it was the Democrats who voted against the 14th Amendment, which made slaves citizens. I did not know that the Democrats voted against the 15th Amendment, which gave the slaves the right to vote. 13, 14, 15 amendments, Democrats were like, yeah, no, we're not voting for that. I did not know that there was a larger percentage of Republicans who worked to push through the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 than there were Democrats. I did not know that there was some white guy by the name of Everett Dickerson, a Republican, who was awarded by the NAACP for helping to facilitate and push the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 through. A white Republican did that. I did not know that Al Gore's dad participated in the largest filibuster to prevent the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 from passing. Al Gore's dad. He was a part of that. I did not know that the Democrats were more pro-abortion and they were anti-Vietnam and they were anti-war. They were pro-abortion, which kind of makes sense when you remember the 2004 Kamala Harris campaign when they had the mobiles in the parking lot, the abortion mobiles. And we also have to remember the woman who created Planned Parenthood. So these are the reasons why I'm no longer a Democrat. You come in the comments and let me know why you are still a Democrat and why none of this affects you or concerns you. And then you can also come in the comments and tell me that none of this is true, because you can Google all of it.
Now, history, whether people like it or not, always enters the chat eventually. And when historical context starts surfacing, conversations become uncontrollable. Because history complicates modern messaging. It forces deeper investigation, deeper thought, deeper questioning overall. And questioning is the one thing these Democrats fit the most, try to tell you. Yeah, man, because informed voters are unpredictable voters. Now, let's pivot into something even deeper. Values.
Let me tell you something. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ first, always. Always. But when you come after him, when you attack him, you're asking for the Peter in me to come out. That's what you're asking for. You're asking for the parts that he's still working on me to come out. Because what I'm not going to accept from this world is you disrespecting Jesus, is you disrespecting my faith, is you disrespecting God. And Don Lemonhead, you claim that you're a Christian, you claim that you follow Jesus, but Jesus, if you did, the Holy Spirit would have gave you that discernment and you wouldn't have been in that church. You would have been nowhere near that church. You wouldn't have been nowhere near that protest. Actually, If you are a real follower of Jesus Christ, if you really do have the Holy Spirit, then the Holy Spirit will give you discernment on the things that's going on now. The Holy Spirit will tell you, don't interfere with law enforcement, because it says it in the Bible. It tells us that we are supposed to abide by the law. It says that, but no, you're not a real Christian. It says that we're going to be experiencing these things that are happening now. So you can't tell me that you're a real Christian and you're against what's going on. You can't tell me that you're a real Christian and you're sitting here bombarding churches trying to make your point relevant for a woman who was clearly defying law and order. What you're not going to do is disrespect my faith. That's what you're not going to do. You're not going to disrespect my God. And if you want to say, oh, how can you be a Christian and be this angry? It's a righteous anger. And the Bible speaks on that. If you were a real Christian, if you actually were reading your word, you would know that there's nothing wrong with my demeanor right now. Actually, I'm sitting here and my demeanor is actually pretty calm, pretty cool for what you really need. You really need God to come down here and just smack you behind. That's what you need. I'm pissed off. I'm sick of it. You would not go into a mosque and do that. Man, that's the thing. So you have more respect for a false God than you do our actual Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for our Father, our Holy Spirit. The world needs to get right. You need to get it together. That's what you need to do. Because I'm not about to deal with it. You're going to hear my voice every time. You hear me? Every time.
I know that's right. Now we pivot into the values dimension, y'all. Faith, principles, standards of behavior. Regardless of political leaning, people take sacred spaces very seriously. And when those boundaries are crossed, reactions become personal. This clip, it resonates with many because it taps into something deeper than politics. Identity and belief. And speaking of identity, let's hear lived experiences next.
I absolutely have to respond to this comment because that's important to me, to let people know what did I get when I went over to the Republican Party. Number one, first and foremost, which was most important to me, I got the freedom to be me. I got the freedom to be Sam, to say what the fuck Sam want to say, to feel how Sam want to feel, to like who Sam want to like, to not like who Sam want to like. That is the most important thing that I got, was my freedom. Okay? Number two, I got acceptance. They accepted that I didn't think like them on a lot of things. And that was fine for them. They didn't say shit to me about it. They had no problems with it whatsoever. None. Okay? That is more important to me than anything. What do you thought I was going to say? I got some reparations, some money, No, because it's not about that. When you have been in bondage for decades and generations, there's nothing more important in this life than your freedom. And I got the freedom to think, to feel, to talk to be around whoever the fuck I want to without judgment. And that, my friend, that is everything for me. Everything. Oh, and you know what else I got? Acceptance. They accepted that I didn't think like them in every which way. They accepted that I didn't even look like them. They accepted that. They accepted my past. They accepted my present. They accepted everything about me. I was accepted. And not because I was a Republican, but this is the first time I felt accepted for being me. And I love it over here. Every minute of it. I love it over here.
No, that's right. This is where, emotional resonance lands, right? Personal testimony. You can debate policy, you can debate ideology, but personal experiences, that's harder to dismiss. Way harder. Because belonging matters to people. Acceptance matters to people. And when someone feels free to express themselves, they'll go where that freedom exists. That's human nature. Now, let's close this by stepping back to the national scale of things.
Watch this.
Where we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
We dedicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people.
That contrast right there is why Christian conservatives chose Trump over today's Democrat Party. Because this isn't just about politics, it's about values. The foundation of our nation is rooted in Christian values. So if we depart from those Christian values, we fall apart as a nation. I thank the Lord that we have a president in the White House that sees that.
Amen.
Where we once were, we are no longer.
Amen to that. Yo. And this brings everything full circle. Foundational identity, national values, Christian values, spiritual roots, cultural direction. These conversations shape how people vote, how they raise families, how they see the future. This isn't just politics, it's worldview. And right now, more people are reassessing this than we've seen in a long time. So here's the reality. This moment we're witnessing isn't about one meme or one clip or one controversy. It's about independence. Black Americans, like every American, thinking freely, choosing freely, voting freely. No emotional leash attached to that. That's the real shift. That's the real story. And whether people like it or not, the shift isn't slowing down. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write "awaken" in the comments. Yes, awaken. Y'all be safe. Go check out somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.
Dana Bash just called out Hakeem Jeffries right to his face. Live on CNN, Jeffries was spinning wildly, claiming ICE has gone completely out of control and needs to be reined in through DHS reforms tied to funding bills. But Bash hit him with a very inconvenient fact that completely undercut his narrative.
We know that ICE is completely and totally out of control. They've gone way too far, and the American people want them reined in. Because immigration enforcement should be fair, it should be just, and it should be humane. So dramatic changes are necessary to the manner in which the Department of Homeland Security officers are conducting themselves before any funding bill should move forward.
So you say very clearly that this, and it's clear in your proposals, this is about reining in ICE and the CBP. But those agencies, as you well know, are very well funded already through the Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's what the president called it, and it passed last year. So what that means is that a shutdown would really only impact unrelated agencies, FEMA, TSA, FAA. So how does pushing for these changes and potentially not getting there help rein in an immigration crackdown?
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Democratic playbook of lies, hypocrisy, and endless word salad, all fueled by a deep-seated disdain for America and even deeper hatred for President Trump. Let's connect the dots, expose the double talk, and drop even more truth bombs than what has already landed on the Dollar General store Obama's head, a payload unleashed by Dana Bash, no less, a shocking dose of reality we could really stand to see more of coming out of the CNN studio with this, the latest showdown between House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and anchor Dana Bash. Jeffries likes to play this game all the time, but thankfully he gets humiliated this time and called out. Hakeem struts onto CNN demanding reforms at DHS to rein in what he calls out of control ICE actions before approving any new funding. Sounds noble, right? Yeah, that's the plan. The libs, who are too busy hanging out in the snow and breaking laws and trying to attack federal agents and now dodging arrest, ironically.
You are under arrest. Be seated where you are and follow the directions of officers. You are under arrest. Where you are, follow the directions of officers.
Well,
Their brains might be just a tad bit too smooth and have adopted a Somali-like IQ level of 6-7-ish, and Dems like Hakeem hope they take his pseudo-smooth Obama-like talk as gospel for face value and just run with it. But oh no, not this time. And so you see, Dana Bash hits him with the facts and checks Hakeem in real time. But the truth is, ICE and CBP just got a massive budget boost last year through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, jacking up ICE's funding from $10 billion to over $15 billion for expanded deportations and border security under Trump. So what's the deal with Hakeem Jeffries' shutdown threats? Because the fact of the matter is, all they'd actually do is cripple agencies like FEMA and the TSA without touching immigration enforcement at all. The truth is, it's pure political theater. Everyone but the short-term memory loss, habitually memory hole, everything Democrats funded the very machine they're now whining about, all while arrests skyrocket 40% since mid last year. So why the flip-flop now? Well, it's really quite simple. And so you see, Democrats' first priority is hate Trump. And Dems like Hakeem Jeffries hate Trump more than they love secure borders. But this isn't isolated.
A few hours on drug pricing. A few hours ago, Donald Trump signed a new executive order he claims will, quote, almost immediately bring down the cost of prescription drugs. Americans should hold their applause because Donald Trump's announcement is little more than a photo op masquerading as reform. Just as he said he'd bring down costs on day one and it didn't happen, same thing here, almost immediately. Give me a break. In case Donald Trump has forgotten, this announcement is like what he already tried to do in 2020 with little success. So Americans are right to be skeptical until they actually see their prescription drug costs go down more. Donald Trump can say he's doing an executive order, but we all know the odds are overwhelming that that executive order will fail. The real way to make drug prices reform happen is to do what Democrats do and what Donald Trump is loath to do. Roll up your sleeves and do the hard work of passing legislation. That's what we did. That's why insulin's $65, $35 for senior citizens. That's why 20 of the most widely used drugs prices have plummeted, because we've negotiated with Medicare. That's why no family pays more than $2,000 total for all their prescription drugs. We worked hard, we legislated, we got prices down. Donald Trump does a photo op, says it's going to come down immediately, but obviously this is a half-baked political stunt that is unlikely to bring any meaningful change.
Wow. Talk about projecting much. And I would be willing to bet that there are plenty of people all across America who would deeply disagree with almost everything Chuck Schumer lied about just then. Tell me if you would agree or disagree.
I was asking my doctor how much my blood work that I try to get a couple times a year might cost if I don't have insurance. And she was like, well, let me look up the prices. She's looking at the price list. She was like, okay, the full metabolic panel is $495. And I was like, okay, that's like $500 is about what I would be looking to pay per month for insurance for the like benefit of having like a $9,000 deductible. Anyway, but I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. This other one's $395, etc. And so she's like, yeah, so the 3 blood tests altogether would be $13. Excuse me? Yeah, she was like, yeah, we just charge what LabCorp charges. So LabCorp, it costs $13 to do 3 blood tests, 2 of which are full panels. One is a full metabolic panel. It costs $5.
No, because what do you mean I'm paying every single month for my health insurance, but I have to pay $9,000 before I can actually use my health insurance? What do you mean by that? So why do I have health insurance? So
how can I help you?
So I think there's a mistake on the bill, but maybe you could help me out. We got a bill, and then we realized that you guys didn't have our insurance, so we sent you the insurance, and it looks like the bill went up.
It went up?
Yeah, the first bill we got without the insurance was $600, and then the second one was almost $1,300.
Okay. Yeah, so that the first invoice you received, that's a discount that you receive if you're uninsured. So you're not eligible for the discount since you are insured. And so the bill was $2,342.14. We billed your insurance. Your insurance only paid $1,078.85.
Can I go back to the discount without the insurance?
No, sir, you're insured, so you're not eligible for the discount.
If I go cancel my insurance, am I eligible for the discount?
No, sir, because we checked eligibility and you do have active coverage for data service.
Oh, I needed to cancel it before I got the service to get the discount.
You're only eligible for the discount if you're uninsured.
Okay, so I'll get cheaper health care if I'm uninsured.
If you're uninsured, you're eligible for the discount, correct?
Is this common? Like I pay for insurance and I end up paying more out of pocket because I pay for a premium? That's wild.
This is just a new law that started 2024, AB 716, and the law is if you receive a discount if you're uninsured.
Okay.
So when we first send a invoice to the patient, we bill them as if they're uninsured. If you're insured, unfortunately, you're not eligible for the discount.
Okay, so just if I have the incentives straight here, if I want to pay less for medical care, I should cancel my insurance if my daughter needs life-saving medical care?
I'm not sure. I don't know, sir.
You
should cancel your insurance. I'm just letting you know that discount's only for patients who are uninsured.
Okay, that is special. That is a special law. So there's no way to put that discount onto an insured person. Only the uninsured people get that.
Correct.
Of your companies own or control a health insurance division? Raise your hand. Please keep your hand up if you also employ healthcare providers or own clinics, specialty pharmacies, or any other kind of medical practice or pharmacy. Please keep your hand up if you also own or control a pharmacy benefit manager. And please keep your hand up if you lead a publicly traded company at which you have a legal responsibility to maximize shareholder value. So we've established on the record that the largest health insurance companies are not just insurers. They are also medical providers and pharmacies, diagnosing and deciding treatment for patients. They are also PBMs, another form of middlemen managing drug benefits. They are increasingly controlling every aspect of our healthcare system.
That clip matters because what you just watched is the quiet part being admitted out loud. The biggest health insurance companies in America are not just insurance companies. They employ doctors. They own clinics. They own pharmacies. They control pharmacy benefit managers, the middlemen who decide which drugs you're allowed to get and how much you will pay for them. So let's stop being polite and using proper language to call this something that it's not. This is not insurance. This is a well-coordinated scam hiding in plain sight because the same corporations that decide whether your care is approved are also diagnosing you, deciding your treatment, dispensing your medication, and profiting at every step along the way. That is not oversight. That is total control. Control of care, pricing, outcomes.
This is what our shitty ass healthcare has come to, where my patients need medicine and supplies and their insurance won't cover it, and here I am spending my own money because my patient needs it. and he doesn't have any money, and he can't work. And the insurance won't even cover what he needs. And I'm sad and I'm sick and tired of it.
And here's the part that makes this so dangerous. These companies are publicly traded, which means that their executives have a legal obligation to maximize shareholder profits. Your health is not the priority. Your doctor's judgment is not how things are decided. It is all about profits. So when your claim is denied and your medication suddenly is not covered, when prior authorization delays care, it's not a glitch and it's not incompetence. That is their business model. One entity controlling insurance, medical care, drug access, while being legally required to squeeze profit out of every decision. That's not actually a broken system. That's a rigged system. And once you see it, you realize this racket is perfectly designed. So perfect, it seems impenetrable. Follow the Broken Science Initiative for more. Our team has been looking at these problems for decades, and we know where the bodies are hidden, and we are doing our best to sound the alarm.
So this is something the Democrats have created all on their own. You know, they have not one single Republican vote when they created the Affordable Care Act. We warned that this was an insurance plan, not a health care plan. And what are we getting? Everybody gets an insurance card. Nobody has great health care without spending a fortune. And so what we're doing is targeting ways that we can help small businesses get affordable health care to their employees. That's a big problem because most of the jobs in this country are created by small businesses, driven by the small business community, association health plans. Doing a lot of the things that President Trump wants to do is giving that health care back to the people so they can decide and have choice. Consumer choice brings down the price, creates competition. And that's what we're looking at, to do that as much as we can, while still, making sure that we provide for people that are most needy. That's what Medicaid's for. That's what we're trying to do. It's just making sure that we're not focusing on the 7 million people in the entire country out of 330 million that the Democrats are focused on. We're focusing on every American, and I think that's important. We're going to fix what the Democrats created. It's a disaster, and it's creating part of the affordability crisis.
Well, Trump RX just launched. All the medications on there is 85% off. That means medications that cost $200 and plus dollars is now $30. My president said, Obamacare what? Obamacare who? Obamacare was getting over on y'all ass big time. Biggest scheme in the healthcare industry. Yeah.
Our healthcare system is robbing Americans blind, or was robbing us all blind. But I don't need to remind you that was Obama's healthcare system, really. I mean, the Unaffordable Care Act. Trump is actively trying to solve this massive problem that Barry made for us all. But unfortunately, not all mainstream media has the guts to stand up to the evil Democrat machine.
You could go on. And then, Willie, Donald Trump's coalition, the Republicans' coalition, is not crumbling from the edges. It's crumbling from the center. He's losing the independents. He's losing, of course, Democrats that may have voted for him. He's losing working Americans that voted for him in the past. And everything he's doing is causing that collapse in the center to continue and drive his numbers and Republican numbers down. And, of course, overnight, he put out a Truth Social post that was a racist post depicting the former president of the United States and First Lady as monkeys, as primates, and that's only going to hurt They're sitting there thinking, oh, we're going to own the libs. Oh, we're going to make the libs mad. No,
they'll be so triggered.
That's not what happens. I mean, at this stage, all you're doing is hurting the Republican Party. All you're doing is hurting your support in the center. All you're doing is making sure Democrats have a great off-year election. All you're doing is making yourself look pathetic, Republicans, for not standing up to this open racism and bigotry. Again, in normal times, would end somebody's political career that day. And every Republican
or any career
in normal times would have come out and attacked this racism and this bigotry. But the thing is, they think Democrats are going to get angry. Now Democrats just look at it and they're staring at the Republicans going, really? You're not going to say anything about this? Because This doesn't own the libs. This destroys, it's just all of this stuff destroys Republican support among the very voters they need to win elections.
Yeah. I beg to differ and would rather not take this conversation towards the direction of Don Lemon as it relates to career ending and Jimmy Kimmel, Billie Eilish, Trevor Noah, James Comey, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. Shall I go on and continue? I could do this all day. A few apes and an AI meme. Give me a freaking break. We don't need your fake cries of racism to own the libs. You all do that on your own for us all each and every day. Every time you open your mouth to speak. I mean, how else did Operation Let Her Speak come to be as it relates to AOC and Jasmine Crockett? Own the libs? Perhaps the worst of them all are about to be owned by Trump after ABC's The View just got hit with a federal investigation for alleged election law issues over equal time rules. Yeah, how about we talk about that, Joe, Mika? But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, and not that I'm excited to even mention his name, but you must know you're doing something right when even Mark Cuban is siding with Donald Trump.
We'll work with Trump RX. I mean, it's incredible. It's stupendous. It's like the most incredible program ever. And so we're excited to offer them our API so that they'll be able to download our daily prices. So when they go down, everybody benefits. Plus, I like what they're doing with the MFNs because, as I mentioned in my comments, our brand drugs are more expensive because PBMs are involved. And with Trump RX and the MFN program, that allows manufacturers to work around the PBMs and work directly to patients. So I think it'll save seniors, it'll save everybody a lot of money.
You think this is the future?
I don't think it solves the ultimate problem of how the system is designed, but I think it's something that we obviously agree on because that's what Cost Plus Drugs is. We publish our entire price list every day.
Your company posts drug prices with full cost breakdowns. How does this transparency help save patients money?
I mean, you know, with costplusdrugs.com, any patient can just go look at their price for their medication. And so there's no uncertainty. But more importantly, by seeing our markup of only 15% and seeing our costs, that builds trust. I always tell everybody in our company that what we really sell in this industry is trust. And so I think that's what's really allowed us to grow so quickly.
But ladies and gentlemen, all we have to do is just flash to the latest healthcare hypocrisy, and it is easy to see Democrats have yapped for decades about slashing drug prices and pushing healthier food in schools. Now, under Trump's Trump RX initiative, it's actually happening. Profound reforms delivering affordable meds and better lunches. Unlike the fake feeding our family's future fraud scam, Ilhan and her Somalian cronies were milking Minnesota taxpayers for all the while. A multi-billion-dollar scandal that has just been exposed as a shocking Minnesota auditor report has dropped, confirming Tim Walz's Department of Human Services created false records, failed to verify grant recipients, and attempted to cover its tracks, paving the way for widespread fraud.
Against fraud. The performance audit shows the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out the door in grants without making proper checks into who was receiving them. And that is not even the most jaw-dropping finding. Lou Raguse has tonight's top story. Lou?
Julie, according to the nonpartisan legislative auditor, this is another case of mismanagement of taxpayer money. But perhaps the most explosive revelation is that managers within DHS, the Department of Human Services, tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents.
But I do want to talk about what a serious issue this is and how it is, frankly, unacceptable.
Another sobering report by the Office of the Legislative Auditor, this one concerning the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. The audit found them issuing grants to applicants without a bidding process.
So what we saw is that there was multiple entities that could have been eligible,
and they chose not to provide a justification for why they were picking those.
This report is quite stunning.
One outrageous example, the auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any info on what they do. And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a couple days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
To me, that's criminal.
Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple DHS managers backdated or created new documents to try to cover their tracks.
Frankly, in the 27 plus years I've been with OLA, I have never seen this before. I will say we have had suspicions periodically, but we have never been able to prove it, to document it. And we did in this case. And it's very troubling.
Temporary DHS Commissioner Shireen Gandhi's response.
I was shocked to hear this information in the exit conference, and it is absolutely unacceptable that any staff would provide anything other than accurate representation of the work done to an auditor.
Now, there were a lot of questions from lawmakers about whether this audit should result in criminal investigations. So we'll see what comes from that. The Office of the Legislative Auditor provides recommendations both to the department and to lawmakers in case law changes are needed. Just one more time of what the auditor said regarding this fabrication of documents. She called it a systemic problem within DHS.
I mean, Lou, it just seems like every time you think it can't get worse, it does. I do think this is jaw-dropping. You mentioned that they were talking about criminal investigations. I think I speak for a lot of people watching right now who really want there to be some kind of accountability. Did you get any sense from that meeting today or in talking to any of your sources that there actually will be accountability?
Well, no, that's something that's going to require some follow-up, because one problem the auditors had is they didn't have subpoenas to issue to people that no longer work for the BHA within the DHS, and so they couldn't bring those people in and question them. And so it would take an outside agency such as law enforcement to look into it.
Just unbelievable. All right. Thank you, Lou.
It is just unbelievable. Unbelievable how Democrats like Senator Elizabeth Warren come out and try to blast what I can only describe as just more wins from the Trump administration and his presidency, now in his second non-consecutive term, but falsely blasted as Trump's vanity project, falsely claiming he kicked $15 million off insurance. Obstruction at its finest. And we should include her and bring her up on criminal charges.
Say goodbye to your smile and say hello to polio. You know, I would laugh if it weren't so scary. Donald Trump just picked RFK Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. This is a man who wants to stop kids from getting their polio and measles shots. He's actually welcoming a return to polio, a disease we nearly eradicated. But it doesn't stop there. RFK Jr. also doesn't believe fluoride should be in your water, and that's what keeps your teeth from rotting. You can't make this stuff up.
Polio? Really? Polio? Get with the times, girl. It isn't 1988 anymore. Hell, Bill Gates has worse stashed away in his freezers in Las Vegas and California that we all should be more worried about than that. But did you know Senator Warren received over $1 million in pharmaceutical lobbying dollars during 2019 and 2020, allegedly? And how about out of the entire Senate, she ranks second for making the most money off the COVID crisis. But now she wants you to think RFK Jr. is the enemy. Why are we not surprised?
Big Pharma since 2020, the reason why you don't want RFK Jr. suing Big Pharma? Is that why?
No, check the website. I don't take contributions from Big Pharma executives. I don't take any corporate PAC money. And you and your allies already know that.
And now may be no better time than ever to highlight how Elon Musk explains how Bill Gates is not strong in the sciences, but how Democrats would want you to believe, and the media too. I mean, think about it. You think that someone like Bill Gates, who started a technology company that's one of the biggest companies in the world, Microsoft, you think he'd be really quite strong in the sciences, but actually, he's not. He's not strong in the sciences. That and how White House advisor Callie Means nails it and stands on business, calling out and humiliating Democrats to their face about how they all want to talk big but turn recalcitrant when real progress bears Trump's name.
You know, when you turn on CNBC, it's just a nonstop. It's a nonstop infomercial for pharma. It's a Sky Rizzi commercial followed by Scott Gottlieb saying how Bobby's killing people, followed by a breathless coverage of the measles outbreak and no mention of the mental health crisis.
How does cutting a bunch of HHS solve that problem?
It is insane. It is insane for you to insinuate that the thing standing between us and better health is more government bureaucrats. Like that's demonstrably
That's not what I'm
insane.
insinuating.
That is what everyone's saying. It is absolutely insane to insinuate that it's some crime.
It's not all bureaucrats. It's a lot of scientists. It's researchers. It's people who are making sure that
those scientists fundamentally have overseen, just demonstrably, a record of utter failure. It would be insane. Is that funny? Is that not true? I'd love to hear how, so what metrics would you guys point to for how the scientific community, how the 4 times more per capita on healthcare spending that we spend in America versus other countries has produced innovation? Has there been one single chronic disease medication in modern American history that has lowered rates of the chronic disease? Is it appropriate that the American Academy of Pediatrics right now, which is 90% funded by pharma, is pushing Ozempic on 6-year-olds? That is what the medical authorities are doing.
I want to ask if you saw the Bill Gates memo that he put out. A lot of people are talking about this memo.
I just want to say, Billy G is not my love. You'd think that someone like Bill Gates, who started a technology company that's one of the biggest companies in the world, Microsoft, you'd think he'd be really quite strong in the sciences, but actually he is not strong in the sciences. But actually, my at least direct conversations with him have he is not strong in the sciences. This is really surprising. You know, he came to visit me at the Tesla Gigafactory in Austin, and was telling me that it's impossible to have a long range semi truck. And I was like, well, but we literally have them, and you can drive them, and Pepsi is literally using them right now, and you can drive them yourself, or send someone. Obviously, Bill Gates not going to drive it himself, but you can send a trusted person to drive the truck and verify that it can do the things that we say it's doing. And he's like, no, it doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, I'm like kind of stuck there. Then I was like, well, so it must be that you disagree with the watt hours per kilogram of the battery pack, so that you must think that perhaps we can't achieve the energy density of the battery pack, or that the watt hours per mile of the truck is too high, and that when you combine those two numbers, the range is low. And so which one of those numbers do you think we have wrong? And what numbers do you think are correct? And he didn't know any of the numbers. And I'm like, well, then doesn't it seem that it's perhaps premature to conclude that a long-range semi cannot work if you do not know the energy density of the battery pack or the energy efficiency of the truck chassis?
Yeah, he's now taken a 180 on climate. He's saying maybe this shouldn't be the top priority.
Climate is gay. The reality of the whole climate change thing is that you've just had people who say it doesn't exist at all, and then people who are super alarmist and saying Florida is going to be underwater in 5 years. And obviously neither of those two positions are true. The reality is you can measure the carbon concentration in the atmosphere. At some point, if you continue to take billions, eventually trillions of tons of carbon from deep underground and transfer it to the atmosphere and oceans, you will change the chemical constituency of the atmosphere and oceans. You just literally will. And the reality is that, in my opinion, we've got at least 50 years before it's a serious issue. I don't think we've got 500 years, but we've probably got, 50. It's not 5 years. The concern level for climate change is on the order of 50 years. It's definitely not 5, and I think it probably isn't 500. So really, the right course of action is actually just the reasonable course of action, which is to lean in the direction of sustainable energy.
They don't want solutions. They want power. And they don't care if how they get it is by theft and illegally.
For example, but requiring basic ID in order to vote is really popular. A Pew poll from a few months ago showed 83% of Americans, including 71% of your fellow Democrats, support requiring an ID to vote. Why are they wrong?
I haven't said that they're wrong. We know that states are the ones who are empowered to conduct elections, and every state should be allowed to decide the best way to proceed to ensure that there's a free and fair election. Here in New York, there are, in fact, voter identification requirements. The question is that what Republicans are trying to do is to engage in clear and blatant voter suppression. They know that if there's a free and fair election in November, they're going to lose. In fact, Republicans have been losing every single election since Donald Trump was sworn in January of last year, including most recently decisively in Texas, and of course, losing all across the country, up and down the ballot in the November off-year elections in places like New Jersey or Virginia or New York.
Yeah, and they've been losing. I mean, Virginia is a good example. They have a requirement to show your ID, and Democrats won very, very handily across the way. So why not maybe even just take that off the table and say, okay, maybe not a passport or birth certificate, but show ID?
Well, first of all, every state is empowered to be able to make the decision on their own, and we completely and totally support that. What Donald Trump wants to do is try to nationalize the election. Translation, steal it, and we're not going to let it happen. We stopped them in terms of their gerrymandering efforts, where they were going to try to redraw congressional maps in red states throughout the nation, not expect Democrats to respond forcefully, and try to rig the midterms. They failed. We've stopped Donald Trump from being able to federalize the National Guard, which we believe was probably part of some toxic attempt to unleash troops on American cities all across the nation and intimidate people from voting. And we're going to stop him from nationalizing the election. This is going to be a free and fair election. It's going to be conducted like every other election, where states and localities have the ability to administer the laws.
I do want to ask about a video that President Trump shared, a racist video, and it...
That's just so crazy to me. Democrats strongly oppose voter IDs for the American people, while also Democrats have no problem when required to use an ID to vote in Congress. Make it make sense.
Will any Democrats vote for it in the House, you think?
They should. I think there'll probably be some that'll vote for it. They absolutely should. Larry, let me put it to you this way. For any member of Congress on the floor of the House, you know what they have to stick into the card slot in order to vote? Their congressional ID, which has their picture on it. So you're going to have Democrats who are going to vote no when they need their picture ID to vote in the well of the House. I mean, this is crazy stuff.
Well, maybe they'll ring the fire alarm like they did the last time.
It's time to ensure election integrity, secure our elections, implement voter ID, and pass the Save America Act. But everyone that I talk to agrees. Dems prioritize personal gain over American well-being, feeding their base raw propaganda while sabotaging wins for real, legal American families. This pattern screams anti-American agenda. Democrats peddle a narrative that our nation's under tyrannical control, locking up citizens, failing everywhere just to scare votes their way. This couldn't be further from the truth, as Trump policies deliver results, and it boils over even in sports now as we see woke Team USA Olympians disrespecting the flag, booing patriots like J.D. Vance at the games. It's the ultimate betrayal amplified by Democratic propaganda that divides us on the world stage.
Yeah, it's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before, and because of that, it's made us a lot stronger. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong in these hard times. I know that a lot of people say, you're just an athlete, like stick to your job, shut up about politics, but politics affect us all. It is something that I will not just be quiet about, because it is something that affects us in our everyday lives. So, of course, there are things that I disagree with, but as a community, we are strong and we support each other, and brighter days are ahead of us.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
They haven't got the slightest clue, but I would be willing to bet they get all their political opinions implanted into their smooth brains by liberal media. We're barely one day into the Olympics, and at least 3 U.S. athletes have spent their time in front of a microphone trashing our country, all with incorrect facts. But I mean, if they don't support our country, then we shouldn't be supporting them, right? They should renounce their citizenship and move out if they feel the way that they do. You chose to wear our flag. You chose to represent our country. You chose to compete at the Olympics. If that's too hard for you, then go home. Some things are bigger than politics, and they unfortunately just don't get it. And I'm not watching the Olympics, but I do catch the clips and try and keep up with the trends. Much like the game tonight, I won't be watching it either, nor the halftime show, but hey, who knows? Maybe nobody will. Because not only will Trump not attend the abomination that is scheduled to occur, but the U.S. Air Force pulled F-22 Raptors from the planned flyover because increased operational commitments took priority over the ceremonial display. And I tell you all right now, Trump bombing Iran during that gay-ass, trash, Bad Bunny halftime show, so NBC is forced to cut away from Jay-Z and Rock Nation's NFL Trans Fest, might be the funniest thing he could possibly do. But this is where I leave you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to share and I want to ask you all to go check out and watch, subscribe, drop a like, a comment over on LV Nation's latest video, I think. And it's his upload, Woke Team USA Olympians Disrespect the Flag. Then this happened, where, as always, he breaks it down raw. But here's the bottom line. Even if you disagree politically, and I'll put a link in the description, even if you disagree politically, you don't trash America abroad. We deal with that internally already. We are all Americans. This is the flag that we represent, or at least we should. Tim Walz would rather wave the Somalian flag instead, but the Democrats, their propaganda is so toxic, they want the world thinking we're a tyranny. And as LV says, or Lou Valentino says, in 4 years, if Dems win, they'll love America again until they need to impeach Trump or flip the script.
Hey, everybody go check out Link Lauren. Good. He does a lot of these breakdowns on pop culture, politics, and all these different things. But man, that was, to me, the only breakdown really necessary here. Obviously, you know, JD Vance is out there. JD Vance and Usha Vance, they're out there for the Olympics. There was a bunch of people. Oh my God, they're getting booed. Oh my God, this, that, and the third. But look, man, you know what? I would say this. I'd say this. Like, if Joe Biden were president and like I was competing in the Olympics, I still would not shit on America. I just wouldn't. I really wouldn't. You know, like I wouldn't even mention, like, I'm here to represent the United States of America. We go to war. We all go to war together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way I look at it. Like, I don't got no time to be violating people from my country while I'm representing my country. We deal with that internally. We deal with that behind closed doors. We deal with that in the country. We don't deal with that outside of here. We are all Americans. This is what we represent. We going to war for each other. This is the flag that we represent. This is the oath that we are under. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure U.S. soldiers probably think about it like that, because how many U.S. soldiers you don't think disagree with each other? I think a lot of them do. I think a lot of them definitely don't agree politically. But this is how bad Democrats are, I think, in 2026, right? Democrats are to that point where the propaganda is that crazy, to the point where they want the rest of the world to think that the United States of America is like under tyrannical control. In my opinion, that really couldn't be far more from the truth. You know what I mean? That is my opinion. But again, you know, they'll tell you American citizens are being locked up by ICE, American citizens, all these crazy things. They're going to give you all these things. But I promise you in 4 years, people would just America, bro. Like in 4 years, let's just say by the midterms, Democrats win, everything changes for them. They'd start to love America again, right? They're going to try to impeach Trump. I mean, these are the things, this is what they want. That they want people to believe that everything is failing, everything is bad, terrible, and just to get you to vote Democrat. And then when they do vote Democrat, most likely the policies are going to be ass. You know, it's gonna be right back to 2020, and then you're gonna want to vote Republican again in the year 2028. I mean, it's just the way it goes. Or in the year 2032, if they win the election in 2028 after these midterms this year. So let me know what you guys think about the United States of America. As much as you disagree, would you go up on a podium if the Democrats were in control? Would you say what they said? Vice versa. Let me know that in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next.
It's a cycle of shit-ass policies, voter regret, and endless hate. Peak Democrat Party right now as they push division to cling to relevance, I guess. I don't even know what's relevant over there, but all they've got is hating Trump and America in equal measure. But I hope, and I really do feel that America's waking up. And through videos like these, we share the truth and help people gain better understanding, perspective, and clarity. I, at least, expose those like Hakeem Jeffries and would love nothing more than to see him humiliated time and time again by Dana Bash on CNN and force him to rage quit the interview and just storm out shouting, "Cut the feed! Cut the feed!" This is the left's game. Hypocrisy on borders, health, and patriotism. And they're losing so badly. I just love it. But I tell you what, for the cogs and NPCs still plugged in and who haven't been unplugged from the Matrix sim yet, share this one with them if you ever come across one. But just try not to laugh when you read this to them. And a post from Gaina Fauci, of all people, that says, and I quote, "Trump cheated in 2016. Trump tried to cheat in 2020 and got caught. Trump cheated again in 2024. So please pass nationwide voter ID laws so we can stop Trump and his cohorts from cheating again in 2028 and save democracy." America first, baby. All right, you all take care, be safe, and God bless.
Today's show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie and her family face a deadline.
Yeah, and that deadline was outlined in a ransom letter in connection to the disappearance of their mother, Nancy Guthrie. Our Megan Shin joins us live in studio. Megan, tell us more about this deadline and then another video that the family posted over the weekend.
Yeah, Erica and David, we're keeping a close eye on this. It really remains a mystery as to how 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie went missing now 8 days ago. And police have yet to name a person of interest or suspect at this time. So overnight, CBS News learned police visited these two gas stations in the Tucson area with a request to review surveillance footage. Right now, we're working to learn more details on how these stations are actually part of this investigation. Video also shows a police presence outside of Nancy's daughter, Annie Guthrie's home, but no one said why. So investigators spent part of the weekend searching a septic tank as well behind Nancy Guthrie's home. Now, over the weekend, the family released a new video, and it told the person or persons of interest holding Nancy Guthrie that they are willing to pay and meet their ransom demands in exchange for Guthrie's safe return.
We beg you now to return our mother to us. We received your message and we understand. We will pay.
That message comes after reported ransom notes have been sent to some Tucson, Arizona newsrooms and TMZ. One note allegedly demanding $6 million in the form of Bitcoin by today at 5 p.m. And it threatened Nancy Guthrie's life if those demands were not met. Well, the FBI says they are inspecting the information provided in the message for authenticity.
At this point, I think we all have a heightened sense of, do we trust this? Are these hoaxsters? Or is this really going to bring Nancy home?
Some experts remain wary of the ransom note, which specified payment in the equivalent of U.S. dollars. That could indicate the sender was not an American, and it could be someone trying to scam the Guthries as they search for their mother. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the return of Nancy Guthrie or the arrest of those responsible for her abduction. David and Erica.
All right, Megan, thanks so much. As this situation evolves, stay with KDKA and CBS News for continuing coverage. And even when we're off the air, you can always find updates on our website, kdka.com.
Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie and her family face a deadline.
Yeah, and that deadline was outlined in a ransom letter in connection to the disappearance of their mother, Nancy Guthrie. Our Megan Shin joins us live in studio. Megan, tell us more about this deadline and then another video that the family posted over the weekend.
Yeah, Erica and David, we're keeping a close eye on this. It really remains a mystery as to how 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie went missing now 8 days ago. And police have yet to name a person of interest or suspect at this time. So overnight, CBS News learned police visited these two gas stations in the Tucson area with a request to review surveillance footage. Right now, we're working to learn more details on how these stations are actually part of this investigation. Video also shows a police presence outside of Nancy's daughter, Annie Guthrie's home, but no one said why. So investigators spent part of the weekend searching a septic tank as well behind Nancy Guthrie's home. Now, over the weekend, the family released a new video.
One of the world's most powerful conservative leaders just won again. Millions of Japanese voters braved snowstorms and freezing temperatures to cast their ballots for Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party, delivering a historic victory. It now has more lower house seats than any party has won in post-war Japan. A big reason why is Takaichi herself. Her approval ratings are the highest in years, and clearly that star power translated at the polls. But experts tell me that it also signals that voters who were frustrated with recent, more center-leaning leadership are pleased with an unapologetic conservative like her taking the helm. Now, Takaichi is a conservative leader, but what does that mean? Because it's not in the way we see in the U.S. Socially, yes, she opposes same-sex marriage and supports Japan's single surname system, which makes it harder for women to keep their maiden names. But economically, she backs big government and just passed a record-breaking spending budget. She's also not anti-globalist, as we've seen increasingly in the U.S. In recent weeks, she's reaffirmed ties with the U.S., the UK, Italy, even South Korea, despite decades of tension rooted in Japan's former occupation of the Korean peninsula. And Japan can't afford to be anti-globalist. Its birth rate hits record lows, and its workforce continues to shrink. So she's conservative, but calibrated for Japan's reality. powerful